welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. This afternoon, by the time you guys hear this will be Thursday morning and or Friday morning, depending on whether you have time to listen to it Thursday morning. But I had a lovely Vanessa, and before we got on this call, one thing I will say is Vanessa has the most bubbly personality I have ever met in my life, which is helping me right now because, as you guys know, I'm going through the stress of school. So as I was explaining to Vanessa before we started the recording, I said to her, well, when people get on my podcast from drama, like, why are we actually doing this? But I could tell by Vanessa's personality that this is not going to be a humdrum episode. So without further ado, I'm going to let Vanessa take it away.
Aw, thank you, Wynn. You're so sweet. What a lovely introduction. I'm surprised hearing I'm the most bubbly person you've ever met. Wow. I'm flattered hearing that. Thank you. Yeah, it's great to be here with you, and it's a joy for me to be here with you because I know about your work, and I find you so inspiring, and I'm just so happy to support you and the people who are listening and to add, value to everyone's day. That's why I love doing podcasts and interviews because it's a way to connect with more people and to add value to their lives and hopefully impact them in a positive way. So it's great to be here with you.
Vanessa, well, it's wonderful to have you. Vanessa, what do you actually do? Can you explain to my audience what you actually do?
Yes, of course. So for almost 9 years, actually, my business anniversary is next month. I've been working with individuals, with groups from all walks of life, and I help them to connect to who they really are, so the true nature of their being. I help them to become the leader that they're here to be in their lives, in their communities, and for those who really want to make a global impact, and help them to get fully aligned to their soul's mission and what they're here to do in the world, and to excavate that mission from a deeper level. So they're not allowing outside influencers to, to tell them who they're here to be or what they're here to do. I help people to access that from inside out. So I've been, doing coaching work. I've been doing spiritual mentorship and deep healing and transformational work, and I'm also a channel, and so I guide people to connecting to who they really are so that they can become the powerful beings that they are, and to also, with the leaders that I'm working with the change makers and the visionaries, influencers, I really help them to stay on the cutting edge of consciousness. So that whatever they're doing is really the most powerful and potent part of their mission, so that they're staying on top of what they're here to do. So they're not falling behind, they're staying on top of it. I help them with their projects, with their businesses, with their lives, and really help them. The word that comes up a lot for me in my work is getting into alignment. So fully being aligned to who they are and to their mission, and being able to take that out into the world in whatever way is appropriate and right for them. So I've been working with people, thousands of people now, for almost 9 years. And, I do private work, and I do workshops and events and retreats. And so that's basically how I run my business and what I'm offering the world with the work that I'm doing at this time. It's fun.
Well, it sounds fun. And why did you get into this work in the first place? Were you in corporate America, from corporate America, and said, I want to get out, I don't want to be sitting behind the cubicle? Or was it because you had a calling in your heart, like I did, to go back to journalism school? Or what made you become the coach you are?
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, I've always had this, inkling in my being and my heart since I was a little girl that I knew I was here to help people in a big way. And when I was around 14, I thought that I got a message, higher guidance, as I am intuitive and I am channeling. So I have a very strong connection to God, to the divine, to my guides. And I was instructed to go into the entertainment industry. And, at that time I had nobody in my family, nobody was in that line of work or in that industry. So it was very interesting that I was being guided to go into it, but everything aligned, and I spent 10 years in that industry from around 14 to 24. And in that time period, I went to university, got my degree, and finished high school, all of that, and worked in the event marketing and promotion industry as well. So while I was going to auditions and castings, I was modeling and singing and acting and in a pop group in my teens, and was doing some solo work as well in my 20s. So I was doing all of that, and then on the side I also worked in an office, but the work was really fun. So I would be going and representing a lot of Fortune 500 companies and media companies and PR companies, and was doing a lot of fun work. But by 23, I had my first life coach, and my late teens, early 20s, I started to get into personal development. So for me, it was, I got into personal development. I started to get into more of the spiritual work and discovered that the longer I was staying in this industry, which I believed was the vehicle for me to go and help more people, because I had this vision of being in California since I was a little girl. I'm from Canada originally. So I had always had this vision that I would be here and that I would be helping people, from the entertainment industry, making a big impact in people's lives with the projects I'd choose. But the longer I was in that industry, and as I was doing this work on myself, this personal development, this spiritual development, I started to feel a strong disconnect to what I was doing. Like, it didn't feel aligned, and I didn't know what to do, because I have a very strong will, and my willpower will see something through to the end. And so at 23, I got my first life coach. This life coach was hired to basically help prepare me for another level of success. And the life coach, could see right through all of my, our conversations, and just said, point blank, you're not cut out for this anymore. And, with my will, I was like, well, I am, and I'm going to show you. I'm still going to go to LA. I'm still going to continue to do this. And I knew in my body, I knew in my heart, this wasn't right anymore. And I had tried to get, everything set up to come down to LA. And just before I was set to leave, I got a virus in my mouth and on my face. And, when you're in the entertainment industry, you're very much judged on how you look. And so
yeah.
It was a very clear indicator. If there was any universal sign, if this was any divine intervention at play, it was this moment. And I knew, I've been trying to fight this, for the last couple of years. I'm not meant to go down this path anymore. And it was the exact sign I needed to slowly get out of that and go on a year of soul searching. And, so during those years I was in the industry, I was really getting into all this work, this work, and, really getting into alternative health and wellness, and just diving into metaphysics. And, when I started to get out of that business, I also had my own first company in event marketing, and I left it all behind. I went on searching from that point on, and, did regular office jobs, temp work, all of this. I was even an airline attendant, and nothing felt right, and nothing felt aligned. And then I basically quit everything, and I had discovered yoga and meditation at that time, and had started to go to this metaphysical store in my hometown in Canada, and just everything started to slowly open. And I was instructed to go back to school and to go and get a go into this postgraduate program around health and wellness in the workplace and community settings. And I knew going into it that I was going to be an entrepreneur. I'm just a born entrepreneur. I've never had a flair for office jobs or doing anything, 9 to 5 related for me. It just has not been my path. And I went back to school, and it was just so amazing. All of the ways in which I was so supported. So even like the woman who ran the program, the director of this program in my postgraduate, part of my life when I went back to school, she was a Reiki master and a master coach, an NLP master. I mean, her and I just connected right away, and I felt so supported by her. So I had a lot of, wind at my back, so to speak, right from the get-go when I went back to school, and I opened my business while I was in school, and, I created my own internships, and I was probably one of the only students. I think there was maybe only a couple others who were in that program who went the entrepreneurial route. And I kind of created the program to be what I needed it to be, to get the things that I also needed to be able to go out into the world and have a successful business. And so when I finished that program, I had my mindfulness certification. I was, certified in this program. And then I also got my yoga training, which was like an 800-hour training, and then had my business. So I started it in Canada from the ground up, and, eventually made my way to California when everything aligned and came together, and here I am, so my whole life, Wynn, just like you were saying about going back to school for journalism, has been about following my heart. Everything has been about that. I have not listened to what other people have said I should do, and believe me, I've had a lot of naysayers too. People say, well, what are you doing? Like, why don't you just go and do this or that? It would be so much easier. And I'm like, nope, I'm following my heart.
Nope.
And exactly, nope, I'm following my heart. So it's been a beautiful adventure.
It's so funny you say that, Vanessa, because I had a health crisis, which scared me half to death, which I believe that divine intervention gave me that health crisis. Now I'm 100% healthy. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you, Miss Backplace. And thank you for giving me that health crisis. I almost had to have my back rebuilt and have my rods taken out and all that good stuff. But what was happening was I was beginning the Hunchback of Notre Dame syndrome, and it was twitching my back to the point of I was in so much pain that I couldn't function. So I think divine intervention stepped in and said, okay, you're doing this, you need to slow down and go follow your heart. So basically I tried to go back to college. I originally wasn't keeping my grade point average up, and they kicked me out. And then a couple of weeks later, I Googled journalism, online journalism schools, and saw the word fashion journalism and saw the word Academy of Arts in San Francisco underneath the word fashion journalism. I thought, this is it. If I'm going to go back to school to get my degree, now or never, you go back to school and get your degree, and might as well get paid for your passion.
Absolutely. I'm totally, wholeheartedly in support of that. For you and for anybody. You might as well get paid for the thing that you love to do, because it's possible to be paid for anything. For the
thing you love to do. And then it doesn't seem like a 9-to-5 job.
Right. It's like, true.
No. And so I think with my health crisis, I think that was divine intervention to send me on my merry way and get me out of teaching preschool and teaching third grade music, and then one day a week, and then, which I was doing anyway, and then they sent me on my merry way to find the best journalism program in the country.
Wow. Yeah, divine intervention never ceases to amaze me. This is beautiful, the story. And yes, it's hard, I'm sure, when you were going through all of the physical pain and the health crisis, to get you to this path. But I love how you have an outlook that you can look back and say, oh, wow, like I can see that was divine intervention for me to get me where I am today. Like, good for you. That's amazing that you can see that.
Yeah. And the fact of the matter is I will be finishing my degree. I will be graduating in 2019. I will be working with now it's not my bachelor's, it's my associate's degree, but at least it's something in the fashion journalism field. And I was going to mention this to you, Vanessa, you being previously in the entertainment industry. The reason why I'm doing this is because there's not enough diversity in that industry. I'm sorry, but there's not enough diversity in that industry. The two stick models drive me nuts.
Yes, I 100% agree with you. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's great that you can see that. And I think it's amazing getting into fashion journalism and being able to be an individual who has diversity, who has other ideas, who has innovations that have not been presented to that industry yet. And it's time. It's time. We need that.
It's time.
Long overdue, actually.
Models to go walking out the door and it's like, hello, bring the person in with scoliosis and CT and talk about fashion. Hello, we're not. It's time for the industry to change. I'm sorry, I'm watching all these fashion shows through my school, and it's like the two models, the fancy clothes. It's like, yeah, right. Yeah.
I love that. So, I feel passionate about it like you too, and I can really hear and feel your passion coming through. And that is the fire that I see leaders need to keep going and to really invoke change in an industry or in their industry that they're in. And so I just like, bravo. I think that's awesome, and I support you in that.
And now, what is your favorite book? It doesn't have to be a business-related book. It just has to be a book that you go back to time and time again.
That's a good question, because I've read a lot of books, and I'm going to go with the one that popped into my awareness first, and it is one of my favorite books. It's The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. If you haven't read it, you got to read it. It's just timeless. It's beautiful. It just meets you where you're at in your life, and I feel like it's something everyone can relate to, and he's just such a beautiful writer. And I picked that book up, years ago now, maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Could be longer, I don't know. And I just was glued, totally glued. It's such a beautiful, beautiful book, and it's so helpful on so many levels to explain who we are and the voice inside our head. I also really love Eckhart Tolle's work too, and but I'm going to stick with Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. If you haven't read that, check it out.
And I presume it will be on Amazon, and I presume it will be on Amazon. So if you had to be educated by anyone, who would it be and why, and what would you ask them, inside or outside your industry?
If there was a person that I could talk to outside of any industry, what would I ask them? Is that the question?
Yeah.
This is tricky. I like this. Who would I talk to in history? I've always had a really strong fascination and curiosity for Dr. Gabor Mate. he's not related. He's in the addiction world and counseling world. He's in, plant medicines and helping with addictions. And, he actually popped up. I was doing some YouTube surfing yesterday in the evening a little bit, and I saw him, and I'm like, I've had a fascination with him for years. And so he's come up for me a couple times, and I would love to have a conversation with him and talk to him about, being in the Western medical field, being a Western doctor, and, being able to bring plants and the use of plant medicines and shamanic traditions and native traditions into his work to help people who are suffering from addictions, which is something that's so prevalent, I believe, in our society. And, from
it's
drug
so
use.
huge.
Yeah, to alcoholism, all of that. And then there's a wide gamut of addictions in between. And so I followed his work for a long time and find him incredibly fascinating, intelligent, and also very relatable and accessible. And so I would just love to have a conversation with him about what his experience has been like, what he's learned on a personal level, what he believes, and what his thoughts are on how to start bringing these, ancient traditional medicinal practices and bringing them into, Western medicine, and particularly around the issue of addiction that is so widespread in the world and in, our society, and how he sees those worlds colliding. I mean, it would just be such an incredibly fascinating conversation, because it's not every day that you see so many, very, I would say, respected doctors having these kinds of conversations. I mean, he was just really a pioneer, I believe. I mean, there's others that came before him, yes, but just he's somebody I've really connected to. He's also Canadian as well, and maybe there's a Canadian connection there too.
And
but yeah,
I don't know if you know this, Vanessa. Well, of course you don't. And after I get my journalism degree, I'm actually applying for dual citizenship. Thank you very much. Because my mom was born in Canada, so I'm a Canadian at heart. I don't have dual citizenship yet, but I will, and we just have to be with it yet, because since then I've lost my mom, and I still have a passport, so that's not the problem. But I have to do my research when the person dies. How do we get dual citizenship? But after I get my journalism degree, I'm doing that because I need to do that. I need to do that for my sanity, and just in case I want to get out of here, because if you have watched the news lately, your home country has better healthcare than we do. Let's just put it that way. And you have a very cute prime minister, I'm not saying, and you have a very respected prime minister now. So, yes. So my Canada is in my favor. Basically.
Oh, I love that.
Basically, Canada is like in my favor. So, after I get my journalism degree, I'm getting my dual citizenship, and trying anyway to get my dual citizenship, and then we'll see what happens from there. And now, where can people find you, and where can people work with you? Do you offer Skype sessions? I know you offer coaching, but do you offer Skype and in person, or just Skype? How does that work?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for also asking me that and giving me the opportunity to speak to that. So if, you're interested in finding out more about my work, and how I work with people, and if or how I can help you, the best way to get in touch with me is on social media. I'm really active on Facebook. So I'm sure in the show notes or in the title of this podcast interview, you'll see my full name. It's Vanessa Petronelli. If you search me on Facebook, you'll be able to find me.
All that information.
Yeah, it's perfect.
In the show notes. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Vanessa.
Yeah. So, I'm very active, all of that on social media, on Instagram and mostly Facebook. And, you can always email me at vanessa@vanessapetronelli.com. So how I work with people, I have a few ways. I basically, at this point, I'm running these workshops/events, called Evenings with V. And they are channeling evenings where I channel to you higher guidance. And this event is basically geared for people who are definitely open-minded and are wanting access, information, and guidance, clarity, on what's next for humanity, what's next for the planet. And I offer these, every couple months, and I'm desiring to take this actually all over the world. People have had incredible results and experiences coming to Evenings with V. So that's a group experience that I offer. And I also do a live stream as well from that. I have one coming up in San Diego actually on November 3rd. That will be online, and live streams available. And then I have another event in LA coming up on November 11th. But in terms of working privately with me, I do private immersions, and I also have, just straight up channeling sessions if people are looking just to come in to receive the guidance. My immersions are where we combine my quantum coaching method and channeling and a lot of deeper transformational work, and we integrate a really powerful plan to bring into your daily lives. And those are great for people who are needing some more of the deeper work, who, want to work on business models, need a little bit more of a deep dive, and want some more time with me where I bring all of my gifts together, in this experience. So, if you're listening and you feel curious about it, there's no obligation. Just get in touch with me through social media, private message, or through email, and we can set up a time to connect and talk more about that. My website right now is actually under development. So if you go to vanessapetronelli.com, there's still like a splash page there. You can sign up for my email newsletter, but that will be ready pretty soon, the new site, probably over the next month. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And I think today should be the great announcement. I actually got a publishing deal, you guys. I actually switched publishers on you because I wasn't paying the astronomical amount of money, and then having to buy ISBN on top of it. For those of you who never written books and don't know what ISBN is, ISBN is a unique number to your specific book. So if you look at the back of a Stephen King book, and Stephen King is a New York Times bestselling author, you pick up one of his books in the airport, look at it, and you will see a unique number. That's what's called ISBN on it. And so now my publisher is giving me not only the ISBN number, but heck of a lot more. So I'll be working with them to the book coming out around Thanksgiving will be my last published book under my name. The rest of my books will be published under Aviva Press, which Suzanne has been wonderful over the past 24 hours. I've actually got an interview with her today on her podcast, so I'll be sharing that also when that podcast comes out, so you guys can listen to me being interviewed by Suzanne, which doesn't really happen. I tend to give more interviews than on this podcast, and I get to be interviewed. So that's really exciting. So I'll keep you guys updated on that, and that book will be found on Amazon. I have decided which book will be published with them. I just am keeping it under wraps just a little bit longer because this is exciting. It's also scary. it's also scary working with the publisher now. I mean, I never thought going back to journalism school and then on top of it, working with a publisher, I never thought that would happen. But before I let Vanessa go, I know Vanessa has a couple questions for me, and I'm going to let her ask me those questions, and then we're going to wrap up this interview.
Awesome. Well, first of all, congratulations on your book being published and for it coming out. That's an incredible accomplishment. So I just want to say, like, wow, I love that. Congrats. And I'm excited to see that launched around Thanksgiving. So please keep me in the loop around that.
Well, I will.
Yes, please. And my questions for you, because I don't want to take too much time. I'm eager to give these to you and to hear what you have to say. So my first one is there one single ritual or habit that you feel has made the biggest impact in your life? Because I'm all about rituals and routines. I love those. I love that stuff.
I would, and I thought about this when Vanessa texted me last night, I would say just listening to other people's podcasts so I can gain knowledge, not only knowledge, but how they do it. And it's really helped me in my journalism degree because I didn't tell my teacher until she asked, of course, what I actually do on the side. So she was blown away that I had a podcast that I've been self-taught for 4 years, and up until now I've been self-taught. So that's my ritual. My ritual is also believing in the higher powers, divine intervention, but mainly listening to podcasts and learning from other people.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I love that, and continuous growth-oriented individuals never stop developing, right? We're always learning. We're always developing new rituals and habits. So that's awesome. I love that. Great answer. So my second question for you is, what is one thing that you wish more people knew about you? So maybe more. It could be professional. It could be personal. Whatever feels most aligned for you to share.
Well, the one thing that I wish people would know about me is that I love to write. I'm actually getting paid for my writing, and I'm actually taking a spin on these novels and putting a diversity factor on these novels. So the one thing that I wish people would know about me is I'm a novelist. I'm not you've seen my work. You've seen my work in I Come a Win, you guys. I know you have. But I'm a novelist. I'm not an autobiography writer in the least. So you can catch my last and final autobiography now. And I might be writing the one when I come out of journalism school. But I'm a novelist, and that's how it's going to be. And I'll also do freelance writing on the side for money, thank you very much. But I'm a novelist, and I'm going to be a full-time writer. And so that's why I'm getting my journalism degree, so I can be a full-time writer and still have my toe in the education field.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. You're such an accomplished woman and such an inspiration. Wow. So thank you. That's a beautiful answer, and I look forward to seeing more and more of your writing come out into the world and supporting you in that. So thank you very much for being so open and willing to answer my questions.
No, and so many people think, oh, Wynn writes autobiographies. No, she does not. Wynn writes novels, and Wynn
writes novels.
Novelist. Wynn is not an autobiographer in the least. Wynn writes novels, and I can look at other people's work. That's another thing that people don't know about me. I can look at other people's work as soon as I have the training and tell them in 2 seconds flat what needs to be writing, in fact, on my LinkedIn profile, I have coach for books. I am a coach for books because so many people want to write a book, but they don't know how to do it.
You're right.
They don't know how to use Siri, and they don't know how to use Dragon Naturally Speaking either on PC side, and Dragon Naturally Speaking is on Mac side too, you guys. So many people say, I want to write a book, but they don't know how to do it. So reach out to me, and then I'll help you if you guys want to write a book. But I'm a true novelist, and I will charge a decent amount for looking at other people's work, and I will do freelance fashion work on the side.
That's amazing. Yay, I love it.
And yay.
So clear.
So that's
so clear.
What I've come to decide. And today I made that so clear publicly that it's not even funny. And so I would love to thank Vanessa for her time, and I hope that Vanessa and I get to work together in the future. And then I appreciate you guys supporting me. I'm not a sinking ship. I'm just a little unavailable right now because I have this huge project going on for school. But as of December, I get a month and a half off of school. Oh my
That's
God.
cool.
I will be so. I need a bling bling. I need to get back to my own writing. No, I've been teasing people. I'm like, when 2019 hits, I'm going to go to the beach, first trip, and then while I'm at the beach, I'm going to pick up my diploma in San Francisco, then I'm going coming back and write my little heart out, and then pick up my first freelance writing gig and actually get paid for it. But I need a break after this 2-year intensive.
Oh yeah.
And so I appreciate Vanessa's time. I also appreciate you guys listening and supporting me and giving me feedback. And so you guys can follow Vanessa and myself on Facebook. I'm under WCharles1195. Always check out my Facebook lives. And Vanessa, where are you?
Vanessa Petronelli. You can search me there, or V Petronelli, also on Facebook.
Okay.
Instagram's the same thing, Vanessa Petronelli. It's pretty simple. You find me either one, you'll be directed. And I do tons of lives just like you and posts. So yeah, we'll connect on social media. It'd be great.
We'll connect on social media, and then you guys can support my book. As I said, the book will be coming out around Thanksgiving because people want this book out, and I can't make a huge announcement yet, but I'm slowly but surely gathering my fan base in an unexpected way. Let's just put it that way, and that's why I'm working so hard on publishing this book, and it will be out pretty much before Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving Day, and then you guys can share it out to the world, and we'll see how it goes. And thanks to you guys for listening. Bye, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Wynn. Thanks, everyone.